Hey, everybody. I'm going to try to tackle this somewhat controversial topic. I had a question come in and it was genuine. What is ESG investing? So let's look at this and where it came from. Let's start with where it came from. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. That's all it stands for. Okay. So where does this come from? Well, when we look back at the history of this type of investing, you can start finding examples back in the 1950s and 60s. We had electrical and mine worker unions that started investing the pension funds in things like affordable housing and health facilities for American workers, things like that. So trying to do good with the money and still make money doing that. Okay. 60s and 70s, that's when Earth Day was created and the whole green movement began, us being good social beings and taking care of our planet. And then 2006, it all started really becoming official when the United Nations launched the Principles for Responsible Investing, which was developed together with a whole bunch of institutional investors coming up with criteria on what is going to be considered ethical investing. And that started with 63 investment companies with $6.5 trillion. And now it's over 4,000 institutional investment companies. And there is, 120 trillion assets under management that have pledged that they will be environmental, social, and government proper with their investing. So when we look at this, what does this mean? Well, they've kind of laid out the principles of this. When it comes to the environment, they have to publish any carbon sustainability reports. They limit harmful pollutants and chemicals, seek to lower greenhouse gases, use renewable energy, and reduce waste. These are the basics that they're looking for when it comes to running the companies or investing in companies. They need to follow these guidelines. And then from a social perspective, having ethical supply chains, avoiding overseas labors with questionable workforce or child labor, things like that, supporting the LGBTQ plus rights community, policies against sexual harassment, and pay fair living wages. Okay, so that's the social side. And then governments in embracing diversity in the board of directors, transparency from the corporate level, and understanding the different board of directors, elections, things like that. So these are just the basic principles, but you kind of look at these and go, okay, sure, that's great. And so that's unfortunately where some of the problems come, is there's not really a good measurement. There's no metrics. There's no way to actually go in and look at every company and give them that stamp of approval. And unfortunately, I think we know there's a little bit of corruption in that world anyways. If I want a rating agency to give me a better rating, there's some dinners involved and other things. So we just need to be careful about this. There's a lot of greenwashing, meaning saying we're doing all this and putting it all on the books, but when it comes to enforcing it and actually following through with it, that may not be there because, again, there's a lack of standardized metrics out there. Limiting the investment choices as well. So when we're trying to be responsible with our money and how we're choosing to invest it, well, this does limit your ability to invest. So we have to be careful about that. And then higher investment costs, because some of this is a little bit of a marketing scheme, and you can sell things with guilt. Right? I want to be a good social person. I want to invest in things that are good for us, not things that are bad for us. I don't want to promote greenhouse gases or whatever the case may be. We understand the positive sides of this and the meaning behind this. It means well, but the reality of it is that it is more of a marketing ploy than anything else. And when we look at marketing ploys in the financial world, that means they can charge more. If it becomes popular, if it becomes trendy, then they can charge more for those mutual funds that are ESG or anything else that are out there. So be careful about this. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be responsible with your money and how you invest. I don't have a problem with any of that. But as a fiduciary, our job is to make sure that we take care of your money and that we invest the right way for you. And so we have to limit a little bit of this unless it's a give and take situation. Well, I'm okay with less diversification, less returns, maybe some extra volatility, unfortunately, because of less diversification. So there is give and take. We have to be careful with this, but there's nothing wrong with it. We understand the meaning behind it. But we do see things, and that's where, these companies aren't allowed to invest in oil companies. Well, if nobody's investing in oil companies, then oil companies are harder to run. They have struggled to borrow money, and oil prices can go up because of things like that. So look, there's good and bad to all of this. So much money has vowed to be ESG that all the stuff that's considered bad out there has gone up in cost. And that is that's that give and take. Are we willing to see that because of this? So I'm not going to get political on this. Your opinions are your opinions, and I'm fine with them. I see both sides of the coin on this, and I don't have an issue with either side of it. But that's what ESG is. It's the companies running socially responsibly, ethically, all those wonderful things, and then the choices of investments in those big institutional portfolios. They've all vowed to stay in line with what was put in place. All right. Hope that helps. Hope that gives you an idea of what ESG is. If we can help in any way, shoot us an email, comment below. There's nothing wrong with sending some comments. I know this is a bit of an inflammatory issue for some people. I understand all sides of it, and I'm fine with everybody's different point of view. Give us a call, shoot us an email, and subscribe if you enjoy this. We get new videos out every single week. We're doing 2 a week at this point, and always happy to come up with new videos if you've got questions or thoughts or any topics that you want me to do. Great. See you next week. Have a good one.